The best way to start your day. This is Med in the Morning.
It's Alive 107.3. Lee getting very, very excited. Another brand new episode of TNA Thursday Night Impact has just dropped. Now, if you didn't stay up to watch it live, don't worry, you can catch up right now by heading to TNA Plus. And speaking of TNA Plus, it's the place where you can also see TNA's massive summer extravaganza, Slammiversary. It takes place Sunday, June 28th at the Agganis Arena in Boston. Tickets on sale right now via TNAWrestling.com. Your chance to see the biggest TNA superstars in action on one of the biggest nights of the year. So make sure you are part of history by grabbing those tickets today, TNAWrestling.com. And one man that I am sure will be front and center at Slammiversary, which takes place in his hometown. Boston is my guest at this time, two-time TNA World Champion, two-time X Division Champion, and let me just count this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a seven-time TNA Tag Team Champion, in my opinion, future TNA Hall of Famer, and a through-and-through Bostonian. Let's say a very good morning to Eddie Edwards. Eddie, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. Good morning to you guys. Appreciate it.
Listen, I know there's lots going on in TNA right now. We need to talk about Slammiversary returning to Boston. We need to talk about everything that's going on with AMC and AMC Plus, more records being set week after week after week. But I suppose the one place we do need to start is with the phenomenal reboot. I think we can still call it that, of the system. This is absolutely incredible. If you don't mind me saying this, Eddie, I mean, about 5 months in now to this new look, refreshed version of the system yourself, Brian Myers, Bear Bronson, Cedric Alexander, and you have had, in the short space of time, phenomenal success. I shouldn't sound so surprised by that when you look at everybody that's involved with this, but already capturing tag team and X Division gold. Did you have any plans for it to be? Did you think it was going to be this successful when you formulated this plan to get rid of the dead wood of JDC and Moose and reboot the system?
Yeah, it's one of those things. Of course, we had high hopes going in. We this is exactly what we wanted, but you never know how it's going to go, until you put those pieces in and see how they fit in the group. We took a big jump, but we believed in Bear and believed in Cedric. We knew Bear was just chomping at the bit to get the opportunity to be on TNA, full time, to be a part of something bigger than him. And we felt that with the system, that's what we could offer him. And Cedric, everybody knows what Cedric can do in the ring. And I think we brought something where he could fight for more than himself, to fight for that family unit, to fight for the unit that is the system. And I think that helped him turn it up a notch. I mean, he is the X Division champion now for a reason. I would like to say that I knew this was coming. I hoped this was coming, but this is exactly what we wanted. And it's nice to see when a plan comes together like it has.
I just love that. And of course, you can't say when a plan comes together without talking about the A-Team. I suppose you're very much, if we're going to make that a comparison to the A-Team and also the system, you very much being Hannibal, I suppose.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Those are some big shoes to fill, but I'll try to do it. I like it.
You fill those shoes so well. And as we look at the success of the system, there's one thing we do need to point out here, Eddie. Only member of the system that doesn't currently have gold over their shoulder. And obviously we're doing this on Zoom just now, and you say you're dropping your head there just now. You know what I'm going to ask. A complete system reboot, a complete dominance in TNA wrestling would be fantastic if you had gold on your shoulder. How much pressure is there just now for you to get gold? And is there a plan? Is it world title? Is it international championship? What's your thinking on this just now?
Yeah, it's of course it's a touchy subject. Of course it's something that I feel every day. At Rebellion I had my shot against Santana, and unfortunately it didn't work out the way we wanted. Moose was there to throw a wrench in our plans, and that kind of backfired. And I think it's the one thing everybody notices when you look at the system when we're in the ring, we're doing a promo, whatever we're doing, we're backstage. I'm the only one without a belt. I mean, aside from Lish, who I would like to say, maybe it's time that we get Lish into the mix with the knockouts it may be time to get some gold back around her waist. But for me, I think it is the world title. That's always what I'm focused on, especially with the system. If we really want to dominate like we say we do, which we have proven that we can do when we do it week after week, but if we want people to tune in and to look at us and be like, okay, they rule this company. They rule this company, professional wrestling. I need to put my money where my mouth is. I need to be able to go out there and win a championship and get that world title for a third time. I think that would really culminate, as you say, this reboot of the system. It would prove that this was perfect. This is the way we went about it. Everything we did was the right move, and all I need to do is do my part. I accept responsibility. I have dropped the ball, and I have not won that championship. But I believe in due time I will get my opportunity again, and I will become a TNA champion once again.
I've no doubt in that area after everything you've done in your stellar career in TNA wrestling. But you did mention your wife, Lish. How good is she at being bad? She is phenomenal. Obviously, we saw a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago. She had us all fooled. I mean, I was sitting here watching TNA Thursday Night Impact on TNA Plus and on AMC, and I was convinced there was some unrest between you and your wife. I thought she was siding with Moose. I thought this was all going on. And then she dropped that bomb. She spun, she turned, and it was all part of the master plan after all. So how proud of your wife are you? How difficult is it to actually play her at a game of poker if she's this good at it? And I suppose finally, how stupid is Moose if he fell
Yeah.
for this?
Well, you summed it up perfectly. She is very, very good at being very, very bad. She plays the role perfectly. And it's funny because if you knew how, Moose and Lish's relationship, the fact that she put on the airs and she put on the front that she was really on his side, that she is an award-winning actress at this point because she had people believing that she was indeed with Moose. That's the fun part. We're lucky that we get to do this job as a married couple. You know what I mean? Not many people get to do it. And we get to be a part of the same group, and we get to travel together, work together, and we get to come up with these intricate plans together and watch them unfold, and to see how well she's done, from day one when she became a part of TNA or Impact at the time. Every time she was given an opportunity, she would run with that ball, and she would score a touchdown each and every time. She would show that she belonged on the show and a part of the roster. And it continues to this day. Each and every time she does something, it stuns me for a second. I sit back and I'm like, what, this is my wife, and she's going out there and she's killing it every opportunity she does. And it used to bring a chill to my bones when I heard, "Do you want to know something?" But now, I can feel it in my heart. Now it's a sense of pride and a sense of joy when fans come up to her and they say, "You want to know something?" So it's to see what she's done as a part of the system. For me and for everybody a part of the group and for TNA, it's amazing to sit back and watch and see.
It is absolutely incredible. And as you say, I mean, one of the great things about TNA Plus is you can go back and you can relive many of those magical moments from the 20 plus year career of TNA. And I was flicking the other night, and obviously they've got the streaming channels on TNA Plus where it just shows random episodes of Impact and PLEs from years ago. And they had an episode of Impact back in the six-sided days, when Lish, I think was just starting to come in. Again, it was yourself, it was Davey, it was Angelina as well, and you could see that relationship, and you could see she was a little bit unsure as she was first making her steps into it. And now here we are. I mean, almost. I mean, this must be what for her must almost be a decade with TNA
Yeah, I
as
think
well.
it's around 8, 7, 8 now, maybe, I believe.
That's incredible to watch her journey and her growth. And again, as a couple, do you get time to sit down and look back and actually take in some of the moments and the history and the growth? I suppose what I'm asking is, do you ever sit down and look back at whether it was Bound for Glory last year in Boston, whether it was just Thursday Night Impact, and actually do you enjoy watching the work that you do, or are you hypercritical of what you do?
That's a double-edged sword right there because as I get older in my career, I get deeper and deeper into my career. Me and Lish both, we are very conscious to make sure that we do stop and smell the roses and appreciate what we're doing and this opportunity that we have to not only be together as a married couple, but to be working with some of my best friends in the world and get to do that with them each and every week. And you brought up Bound for Glory. That's what I was going to talk about too. Like that, last year to have that moment in Boston with my wife. I mean, it gets me emotional now. It gives me chills right now. To have my daughter there in the crowd, have my daughter get to do the entrance. To have my mom was in the crowd, my brother was in the crowd. That was like very much a full circle thing for me and Lish, where we did the indies for so long around the area. That's where our dream started. And somehow, all these years later, it brought us back to Boston, the biggest show in TNA's history. And we got to do it with my daughter, and our family was there. It was a very cool moment. So we were we stay on top of that. Like, hey, let's take a breath. Let's appreciate what we're doing here. And it's good to have these interviews like this because it does make us stop and think about those moments as well. But then hypercritical, that is exactly what I am and she is, and I think a lot of professional wrestlers are, where we are our worst critics. So uh, not a lot of times will I watch stuff and be like, oh, that was great. You know what I mean? It's always like that could have been better, or this should have been better. So I try to do it in the moment because after the fact, if I go back and watch, it's not going to live up to what I felt out there in the moment, like a Bound for Glory. That was an amazing moment. And I wouldn't want to ruin it by going back and watching something like, it could have been better. You know what I mean? It's a crazy mentality a lot of us have. But it's the mentality you need to be a professional wrestler, I think.
You mentioned BFG last year in Boston. I was lucky enough to be there for an absolutely amazing, incredible. I've been to many TNA shows here in the UK, but I'm lucky enough to have been to not one but two, in fact, two Bound for Glories over in the US. And there's something magical. There's something uh, totally electric about Bound for Glory, and we'll often hear people say that. Each different PLE, each different event has its own feeling. As a performer, do you get that as well? We often hear people talk about the road to Bound for Glory, the road to Victory Road, all these different PLs. Does it feel different during the build for you guys? Because obviously now we're heading to Slammiversary from the Gannis Arena in Boston, Sunday, June 28th. So you'll be back in your hometown. Uh, what's it going to feel like on the road up to the summer's biggest event for TNA?
Yeah, like you said, it is a little bit different for each PLE, but for a Bound for Glory, for a Slammiversary, these are our two biggest shows of the year. But now, especially that we are going back to Boston and it's Slam and we're doing a bigger building and we know what we're capable of, especially after BFG being such a huge success. Now we want to carry that on. And it's like we always want to try to ride that momentum. I feel that we have that right now and going into Slam. So the build, it feels like you're trying to build something special, but it all culminates like when you walk into the Agganis Arena. That's when you can really feel it in the air because we'll do our TV tapings and live episodes and stuff like that, and you feel it like it's percolating. But then that time comes where you walk into the building or it's Slammiversary weekend, and that's when you can really feel that something's different, something's in the air. And those moments, it's hard to describe, but it's like that's where it's like the pressure and the excitement and all of it's kind of building together and it's just ready to explode. And those are the moments that are kind of unreal in professional wrestling. And I mean, coming back to Boston for so long, we hadn't been to Boston. And I was always like, come on, please come back to Boston. Please come back. Not only do we get BFG, now we get Slammiversary. And we had such a great turnout from the fans in the area last year. I can't wait to see what we do for Slam this year.
It's going to be incredible. You can grab your tickets right now. As we say, head online, tnawrestling.com. We are going to continue this chat with Eddie Edwards. Do not go anywhere. It's made in the morning here live 107.3. If you're just joining us, you have timed it absolutely perfectly. I am joined right now by one of the most decorated athletes in TNA wrestling history. Eddie Edwards is in the house. Eddie, you still with me, my friend?
I am here, my man.
Oh, cracking, absolutely cracking. Thank you so much for taking the time, Ed. We were talking about Slammiversary before. It's going to be a phenomenal night. And again, I think it's going to be an incredible showcase for some of the superb talent that you have on the TNA roster just now. A great mix of established stars, hungry up-and-comers, and exciting returning faces. You have been in the locker room of TNA for, I think, longer than anyone just now. Where does this locker room, this current roster rank in terms of the ones that you've been involved with over the past few years?
I have lived and gone through various different changes, whether it be locker room or front office or ownership or TV channels. I've kind of been through it all, and I can say that now the locker room it's a term that gets overused is the family term, but I will use it as cliched. It's very much a family atmosphere where we all want the same thing, where everybody's on the same page. We want this company to succeed. We want the best for each other. I know there's no point where it's about one person, and you can really feel that where it's not like it's about me. It's just about me. Like some days it's going to be about me. Some days it'll be about you. Some days it'll be about Cedric or Bear O'Brien, whatever. It doesn't matter because we all pull together for the common goal, and that's to bring as many eyes to TNA as we can, because we all know how special it is. And being in the locker room, you feel how special it is that we have this together. And because I'm an older head now, and I'm one of the guys that's been around for a long time, I try to point out, like, this is something that we don't want to slip between our fingers. You know what I mean? Like, this is a special moment in professional wrestling, a special moment for TNA right now. We're on it. We fought so hard to get to AMC, to get a TV deal, and we got that. But that's not where the job ends. Now we really got to turn it up a notch. We got to turn it up a year and keep moving forward, because we can do so much more. And it's just about bringing this product to as many people as possible. And I can say without a doubt, the locker room, everybody's on the same page. And it's amazing to see a system work so well in the locker room, and everybody kind of pulling for each other. It's a very unique opportunity to be a part of.
It's great, and again, I'm very lucky to be able to speak to people like yourself on a pretty regular basis, and everyone says the same. They're saying the locker room is like a family. It's incredible, and you mentioned there actually, because you're quite right. It's great that the locker room is stacked and all pulling in the same way. But you mentioned the office team and everything that's going on there, and one man that has been integral to I think this growth of TNA wrestling over the past 18, 24 months. Is your president, Carlos Silva. And we've seen him out doing the media rounds and everything else. Also, we've seen him instigate the TNA All-Star Awards as well. How important has Carlos's leadership and experience been in helping drive the business of TNA forward?
I see you rocking the Carlos hat, so you clearly are a fan. I get it. But I mean, we're all fans. He's really done an unbelievable job. Especially coming into this crazy sport of professional wrestling. Coming in and not knowing really what's going on or what professional wrestling is. Everybody sees it from the outside, but being in it is very, very different. But he's had an amazing attitude about it. He's wants to learn. He's wanted to learn since the very first day he came in and became a part of the company. He wants to learn the ins and outs of professional wrestling, so he can understand it. It helps him do his job better. And like you said, like, his business acumen coming into professional wrestling is exactly what we needed. I mean, we got the TV deal done. We've had amazing houses. We've had amazing shows, pay-per-views, all this stuff. And he is very much the leader at the forefront there. And it's been great to see his growth, in professional wrestling and how he handles it. It's a very, as it's a very unique atmosphere, professional wrestling. So to come in from the outside and do so well, do as well as he has, it's been great to see.
Absolutely incredible. You can check out our chat with Carlos on our YouTube page. Just head on over to youtube.com and search for Med in the morning. Now, over the past year, Eddie, there's been so much going on, including the kicking off the hinges of the Forbidden Door, we've seen TNA Wrestling work with NXT quite closely. But over the past couple of months, we've seen that ease up a little bit. What did you make of that working relationship from inside the locker room? Where do you see it going? And do you think we've seen it ease up just now because TNA is, and you'll understand when I say this, standing on its own feet just now and doesn't need that support at the moment?
I think, if you look back at it, I think it was successful for both sides. I think it's exactly what a working relationship needs to be, where both sides get something out of it and it helps each side grow. NXT wrestlers will come to TNA if they want to get some more ring time or more reps or whatever it may be. And TNA goes over to NXT to get some more eyeballs. It was like the prime, description, prime thing of what a working relationship is. And right now, like you said, it has kind of tapered off a bit. And maybe it's because it ran its course. It went so high for so long. And maybe it'll swing back around. I don't really know exactly what's behind it. I don't think either side is affected if it's not going on as strong as it was. You know what I mean? If it's not as in your face as it was. I think the fact that the relationship is still there, at any time somebody could be called on and I'm sure there's favors that can go either way, which I think that's perfect. Like, we don't need to be leaning on each other nonstop, but if we need something, I think each side is there for the other. I think that's the important thing. And like you said, right now we're kind of in the zone with TNA, and it's very much focused on what we're doing going forward. So I'm open to whatever happens type of thing. And I think we all are like, hey, if somebody needs to go there, let's do it. If somebody needs to come here, let's do it. But right now it's TNA working on our own, and I think we're going out there and delivering.
Most definitely doing that. Now, Eddie, time is rapidly running out. There's a couple of things I do need to ask about. First, let's go back in time. Let's go back to Glasgow, Scotland, January 2014. You were part of history, the first ever live TNA show from the UK. How much do you remember about that electric event in Glasgow's Hydro? And do you have any other ideas of when we can see you back over here in the UK?
That's a question I think we all get, and that's something that anybody who's done it, anybody who's gone over there, whether it's with Independence or for TNA, I know we all want to be back. So we're all pulling for that. Yes. As far as being a part of that was, I believe that was our first loop, me and Davey's first loop with the company. And it was pretty surreal because again, we don't really know what we're getting into. Again, we're from the outside. We see TNA, what it is or what it could be. And then we go to this sold out building, live TV, first time ever that we're going out there for the live TV. And it's like, we're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Like, any question we had about should we be doing this? Do we belong here type of thing? No, it was like, once that crowd erupted and like once the show went on, it was like, this is exactly what professional wrestling is. And I can't wait until we're back. I fingers crossed that it happens sometime soon. But that was a very special night for me and for Davey. I know that. And I really hope it happens again soon.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yes,
It does.
yeah.
All right, Eddie, before I let you go, it's time for this. We love to do it with all our TNA guests. I have in front of me the names of 5 TNA superstars. I would like to know the first thing that jumps into your head when you hear these names. Are you up for a quick round of the name game?
Let's do it.
Name number 1, EC3.
One of the craziest people I know.
That laugh says there's a story or two to tell. Name number 2, Zaya Brookside.
Very talented.
Name number 3, Rich Swann.
Underrated.
Name number 4, Harley Hudson.
It's not a word, but I feel like she's waiting for her moment. Her moment is going to come. It's just a matter of time.
Cool. And the final name, the name we ask absolutely everybody, Mr. Smooth, the voice of TNA Wrestling, Tom Hannifan.
Oh, serial killer.
Actually, I could see that. It's the last person you would expect.
Exactly. But then you look, if you catch him with his dead eyes sometimes, then you'll see it. Like, if you're staring, you'll see it.
There we go. That is the name game with the one and only Eddie Edwards. You can head online, shop.tnawrestling.com right now, and you can get all your new system merchandise. You can show your love and your support. It's so, so simple to do. Head online right now. Eddie, we look forward to seeing more of you and the system on TNA Thursday Night Impact every Thursday in the US on AMC and streaming on AMC Plus, of course, Sportsnet 360 in Canada, and across the globe you can catch it every week on TNA Plus. I know you're heading to Denver for the next round of TV. Limited tickets available, as we say, at tnawrestling.com. And then when it happens, we cannot wait to see Slammiversary live from Boston. Fantastic. Eddie Edwards, thank you so much for joining us here on Alive 107.3.
Thank you, brother.